All right, new game. We're going to begin with just discussing you guys as a party. Now, we're beginning under the pretense that you guys are traveling together. You are close. You're a close knit group. You're friends with each other. Like I said, in this game, no PvP or any of that nonsense. No party betrayal, or anything. We keep it simple. It's a very short 2-level adventure. You guys have been traveling together for a long time. You guys are all kind of adventurers, even though you might have had a different trade in the past. And you guys are, what's unique about you guys is you're all kind of non traditional characters in society. Most of you are monstrous races, and then we have a gnome tagging along. And because of your guys' ancestry, it's kind of hard for you to find good work. I mean, people are looking at you very suspiciously. You're trying, a bunch of orcs traveling around the goblin. Goblins and orcs are welcome in society now. However, they're still regarded as suspicion, and half of them are still doing what goblins and orcs normally do. Raid adventurers and be monsters. So because of that, people are looking at you with suspicion. And that's also the same reason you guys have banded together, because you guys have a kind of a similar disposition. Now, you guys have been hanging around in Otari for some time trying to look for some work. What you really want is you want a nice place where you can at least settle down and clear your heads so you can figure out what you want to do next. Unfortunately, the problem is there's not many welcoming places for you. You guys are paying gold to stay at the inn, and your gold is running pretty low. So unless you guys want to live on a street like hobos, you have to figure out some way to make some income. So you look at the bulletin board in Otari, in the big Otari marketplace. Not the Otari, I'm sorry, the Absalom marketplace. You're not in Absalom yet. You're not in Otari yet. You're in Absalom. You look at the big bulletin board in Absalom, which is the big city, and you find a request for adventurers. And this request comes from the Tamley Tamerville, the owner of the fishery in the village of Otari, which is very close to Absalom. It's about a day or so travel. And you guys have been looking at the bulletin board for a couple of days now. It's been a week, and that request is still up. That's unusual because most of the time, as these requests go up, adventurers grab them immediately and they take the quest. This quest has been up for a while, so you're kind of wondering, is there something wrong with this? And it's not specific. It just says brave adventurers requested. And it says pay includes, property.
I wonder what kind of property.
So before we start, let's do a character introduction for everybody, so we're aware of who everybody is. I will go down the list. Kizyar, you're first.
Yes, I'm a bounty hunter. Been doing it for a long time.
You're also an orc.
And I'm an orc bounty hunter. I like to line my pockets with gold by going out on the bounties, and I met up with my cousin Reknar, and we decided to mosey on an adventure together, and that's where we're at.
And of course, just to let everyone know, he is a barbarian. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's a fighter.
Fighter.
Yeah, the other guy. The Knoll is the barbarian. You're a fighter. Pumpernickel, give us a brief character introduction.
Okay, Pumpernickel. He is a chameleon gnome, meaning he can blend into his surroundings naturally. He is a sorcerer, a primal sorcerer. He is a fey blood, of course. He gets his blood magic powers from the first world. He basically spends his time wandering around the material plane looking for anything interesting and and he sees this group of misfits as just another interesting, intriguing, and adventurous thing to add to that.
And you took healing spells, of course, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, I have the heal spell and I got the wand, but yeah.
Yeah, that's important for people to know who's the healer.
And Pumpernickel is also, he can also be mischievous from time to time, but that's another story.
All right.
I actually meant to say is my half brother, my stepbrother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and also gnomes and Galarian have a fascinating kind of cultural backstory, where gnomes and Galarian, they come from the Galarian version of the Feywild, which is called the First World. It's like a magical Fey enchanted place. That's where they originate from. They're one of the first peoples from the Fey world. And when they came to the regular material plane, they were kind of, their gods didn't like that and kind of cursed them with something called bleaching. So gnomes are immortal. However, they have to keep going around and doing interesting things to satisfy their curiosity and keep seeking adventure. Because if they stop doing that, they start bleaching. Their entire body turns white, at which point they die, because they're partially mortal now. So that's a fascinating thing about the story of gnomes in the Galarian, the Pathfinder setting. Reckonar, would you introduce your character briefly?
Yes, I'm Reckonar, and as Dummy over here said, we're actually half brothers, not cousins, not step brothers. I was kind of bullied when I was a kid and in the group, but he always stood by my side, so we took out, and as he said, we became bounty hunters, and with a small band from our tribe, and basically I was the one that had to work on folks and everything like that. So I know a little bit about medicine too, and I can be sneaky or I can be loud. So I'm very happy to be here and hoping to get some gold.
In your class?
Meet some new people. Yes.
Your class and your class abilities?
I'm orc and rogue. And I have combat medicine.
Okay. Yeah, he's a strength based brute rogue. Yeah, and you wield a battle axe, right?
Actually, I'm half orc, but yeah, well, actually, I got a different one now. It's called Earthbreaker, but anyway.
Okay. All right. Next, we go to Rez Bloodmaw, the hyena-looking dude standing next to you.
Yep. So Rez was a raider with his clan until they were all killed. He's a sole survivor, or so he thinks. He's a barbarian. One of his flaws is when he rages, he gets really pissed, obviously, but then he also winds up eating. He gets an insatiable hunger. Let's see.
You're probably the least accepted of everybody in society.
Yeah.
Not only are you kind of got a sordid past, but also gnolls are a little bit unusual in the land of Avastian, which is where we're at. Gnolls are from actually the African continent of Galarian called the Mwangi Expanse. So there's not that many gnolls around. You traveled quite some ways to end up here.
Yep, and just. When he tries to avoid combat in this case, not avoid combat, but confrontation, because he knows when he rages, he basically trips offline, and then he's a bit kooky, a bit crazy,
and then he starts biting.
Yep, and
he starts crunching.
And he's been known to eat his enemies, his downed enemies. Sometimes devouring them if he has enough time.
Also,
it's pretty.
Yeah, and then a little bit more about gnolls. In 5th edition, gnolls are all clearly absolutely evil. No argument, kind of evil. Here in Pathfinder, they're more open to not have to be absolutely evil, because their existence is not controlled by some demonic force.
Yeah, you know,
Gnolls have a thing about eating, and they actually will, as a manner of respect, they will eat their dead family members to absorb their spirits. Sort of like those tribes that spread the Kuru disease.
yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
the party is his new family now.
Yeah, so if any of you die, Rez is gonna eat you. That's what he's saying.
Nice.
And then finally we have Schneeg. The way you spell it sounds like Skneeg.
I think like Schneeg.
Yeah.
The way to go, just so Schneeg. He's the life of the party. You can always find him at the gathering tables, always telling stories. He loves going on adventures to try to get more stories because he thinks that truer stories are better than fake ones. So he figures if he goes on great adventures, he can come back and tell and distract people at the table of his wild adventures and so forth. He likes to use his keen deception abilities and everything, and he sings songs and has a wonderful attitude about life, and thinks this ragtag bunch is an interesting bunch of characters that can make a lot of fun stories with.
Okay. And mechanically, class-wise, you are a bard. Just to let everybody know, the way bards work. Yeah, and he is a goblin too. The way bards work in Pathfinder is very different from 5th edition. 5th edition actually nerfed the bard hard from previous edition of Pathfinder. Pathfinder plays the bard the way originally is intended to play, meaning the bard starts singing and everybody gets +1 to attack and damage, and +1 to fear saves.
I'm a really good cheerleader.
Yeah.
I inspire a lot of people. You might hear just faint music in the background, like egging your skill checks on and stuff like that.
What's your instrument?
I got a good little lute.
Cool.
So a guitar.
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
I don't think you specifically need to have the lute in your hand to activate bard song. I don't think it says that. Like you can just whistle and you can bard song.
Yeah, whistle and stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, that's what you'll be hearing. I'm probably not going to be much of a damage dealer, but just being around me and hearing what I have to say will help the team, and I might throw a interesting quip at some people to distract them.
All right, excellent. So now that we have the party introduced, you guys are standing in the Absalom marketplace, looking at the bulletin board, and all the jobs have been taken down except this one poster for the job at the Otari fishery. However, what really interests you is that it seems like the reward being offered is property. Now, you guys have been struggling to find a place to settle down. Property is too expensive over there. It's sort of like California. Nobody can afford anything. And, and paying rent and staying at the inn is really taxing you guys because you're trying to earn some income. But based on your skills and your level and the other people's mistrust of you, you're struggling. So unless you start going on some adventures and earning some real loot, you're going to be kind of getting homeless soon. Luckily, you guys happen to have gathered a decent hoard of treasure to sustain you for a while.
But owning property, guys, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm sure we can split the rent and be able to live for a while. We can then maybe afford other magical trinkets and stuff like that. That will help us with future adventures.
It'd be nice to have a home base.
Yep,
We
I've got a
can work
tent.
out of
but I
there.
think it's big enough for one person.
So while you guys are kind of like discussing this job, you see another adventurer walks by. It looks like maybe he's some sort of rogue type person. He kind of looks at you guys looking at the job. He's like, I wouldn't take that if I were you. He kind of scoffs and moves on. Before you guys can before you guys can even question what he meant.
That makes it sound more interesting to me.
So, do you guys want to find out why this guy? The guy is gone, but do you want to find out why this guy is kind of telling you that's not a good idea, and why this job has been there for a week without anybody taking it?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If you do, I would like to have a gather information check from all of you. It's a most of the time it's a diplomacy check, but some people have special feats that make it something else.
So just a diplomacy check.
Yeah, if you don't have a special feat that you can use a different skill, it's usually diplomacy. But some people have like some special things where they can use a different feat.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything special about diplomacy, so...
Should I throw that in the tower?
It doesn't have to be in a tower.
Okay.
Huh. Did
Yeah.
that not go?
No, it went, but you put it in a tower. That's fine. I got your roll here.
What did I get?
Rez got 8.
Oh, that's how you do it. Tower. I got you.
There.
Oh my goodness! Everybody's in this. Your first roll, and everybody's in the single digits.
Oh, we are
Except
monsters.
for Sneak.
Sneak rolled good.
Yeah, Schneeg did well. Schneeg, your bard-like ways have really helped you out because you're able to talk to people without scaring them off. Like, because Rez will like walk up to somebody and start growling, and they immediately run away. But Schneeg, you're able to kind of converse with some people, kind of mingle with them a little bit, and you start hearing about these rumors. So this job in Otari, all the adventurers are kind of avoiding it like the plague. So this is the story. Rumor has it that there was a big event in Otari where there was some sort of earthquake. In the middle of the marketplace, a big crevasse opened, like the ground just opened, and out spilled dozens of these poisonous centipedes, followed by what appeared to be a dragon. Everybody saw the dragon. And whoever is asking for this job in the Otari fishery, this Tamily Tamerville, the town kind of blames her for causing this. And it's a really kind of a bad situation because, first of all, most adventurers of your level at the bulletin board, you're not looking to fight dragons. Because of the difficulty in taking down a dragon, most adventurers of your level wouldn't be able to take one down. So because of this, the adventurers are really avoiding it. They're like, well, yeah, I don't want anything to do with the dragon. That's why this bulletin's been there.
Did the bulletin just said they have a task for property? They didn't say what the actual task was, right?
No, and they didn't say what the task was, but they did say the reward is property.
Well, we're not finding much work anywhere else, guys. So I think we should probably go talk to this Tamily person at the Otari market and figure out what this is all about.
Yeah, and if you head any other direction, you're going to hit an invisible wall. So
Yeah.
or I can open up a Abomination Vault's adventure path or something. But assuming you guys are taking this,
let's head on over.
so you guys decide, well, you're kind of in dire straits. This is the only job available. So you take the bulletin. You take the bulletin and you go off on your way. It's an uneventful trek from Absalon to Otari. It takes you guys about a day to move down the road. And as you come up to the village of Otari, the first thing you see is something very interesting. You guys all have the map, right?
Mm.
You see a massive flume that stretches all the way into the forest and into the ocean.
I don't have a map.
Yeah, me either.
Let me bring up a different map then. Maybe this map is
It's
not.
okay, KZR. You know you can't read maps.
You can look at the pictures, right?
Yeah.
I do have a Otari player map that I can bring up.
Well,
Do you want a 3D? I mean, are we getting crazy here?
I
can-
got my map up. It's fine with
I
me.
have it. I have the 2D open already.
3D is also pain because you have to orient the 3D dimensions.
All I
And,
have is the story map of Otari that you showed us a minute ago.
both of them can be used. Here, you want to see the 3D map? There you go.
Sure. Okay.
Are you not entertained?
Nice.
I'm in her. This
Okay.
is awesome.
I got motion sickness now.
All right, so yeah, you can move the map with your arrow keys if you really want to. So you guys are coming up, and what the first thing you notice is that this you see as you come into the town, there's a massively long plume that stretches for like hundreds of feet, all the way into the forest. The flume also goes down south and pours out into the what's it called? The water, the ocean. And you can see that there's a boat docked where the flume is parked, and there's logs just going down this flume into the boat, like they're loading the flume with logs. It's very fascinating as you walk through. And you walk over to town, and as you first get into town, there's a bunch of town people. Most of them are human. They see you and they kind of look away. None of them, actually are kind of coming near you or approaching you or anything. And you kind of look around, and you find a pamphlet about Otari, and the pamphlet tells you where all the locations are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Interesting pamphlet. I mean, don't they know the process for making paper? I'm surprised they just hand these out for free and everything.
And the pamphlet also on the back, it has some history about Otari. Otari was named after a very famous adventurer. His name was Otari. He destroyed some really powerful evil 500 years ago, and in his honor, and he died in the process. So in his honor, they raised the town of Otari. It says that Otari originally started as a fishing village, but since in the last couple of decades, it has since grown a very, very prosperous lumber industry. So as you walk through here, you notice that the surrounding countryside is full of forest. So Otari has 3 major lumber companies that cut down trees in the forest, and they load it onto this flume and bring the lumber directly onto the ships where it gets sailed away and sold. Also, there are a lot of kind of interesting places to visit in Otari, including a couple of taverns, some marketplaces, some shops, and of course, you see the Otari fishery, which is where this job is. People are still kind of like trying to avoid looking at you.
So we're not at the fishery. Come on, guys, let's head down to the fishery. Well, as we always do, we'll let Gig be the spokesman for us. I mean, he's got that sweet honey voice.
As we're walking along, I'll be just like playing my lute as we're walking along.
As you're walking along, you realize that a street is closed off. The street that passes through the Otari market. And you can look where the street is closed off, and there's signs up, do not enter, and all that stuff. And you look beyond the sign at the Otari market, and you notice what everybody's been talking about, a massive crater opening up into the ground. So you guys have to walk around that because there's no entrance allowed. There's guards there watching you. This is kind of fun, you know?
We're rubbernecking as we walk by. If anybody passes by us on the street, I'm like, hey man, what happened there? And we already found out anyway, but
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong way. You guys went the wrong way. The fishery's this way.
Well, we're new to town,
Yeah, makes sense.
and because Lara was holding the map upside down, he was trying to lead us. I'm like, I think we gotta go this way.
So you get up to the Otari fishery. Very clearly labeled.
Yep.
The fishery, it looks like a kind of a busy place. You see that there's a lot of people in the fishery, and there's a lot of kind of music and noise coming out of it. You kind of peek through the doors, and you see that there's a lot of gambling tables and card tables set up, and there's people sitting there. They're playing cards. They're playing Magic the Gathering.
Bro.
The moment we see the gambling table, Sneeg had completely forgotten why we were there in the first place. And he wants to start walking his way over there.
so I grab Sneak by the collar, say, "Come on, man, we got business to do before you head over there."
But that's
You're
what the
always
fun
saying
is.
that, but me no buts.
So you guys walk into this establishment, and you look around. You notice most of the people here are like humans, halflings, elves. They all kind of they all turn their head at you at the same time. They kind of they have this blank look on their face, but they're trying not to look like, you know, they're trying not to like look like they're giving you a growl. Yeah, so they kind of avoid looking at you and kind of look away.
We're used to that. We just
Yeah, that's your usual reception everywhere you go in most of civilization. However, it's better than maybe 50 years ago where you would already be in combat by now. So recently there's been laws passed, anti-discrimination laws against orcs, goblins, and other races, other intelligent races. But this is still like 1960s, you know, racial tensions are high.
Bro.
Anyway,
Segregation has just been repealed.
Yeah. We're looking for some information on this quest. Can anybody help us?
Diplomacy.
Well, I'm orc, so I don't have much, but...
Well, you're the one who spoke up.
Well, nobody else was saying anything. There we go.
You're not a full orc. Okay, yeah, you rolled really well. So you rolled enough for them to look at you. They're like, okay, these guys are at least not like, you know, murderers, band of murderers, raiders. So one of the elves kind of turns over and looks at you, and he says, "You want to talk to Tamily Tamerville? She's in the back." And he points to the back.
Just bow slightly and say, "Thank you much." And grab Sneak by the collar and head back towards the back.
being dragged by my heels.
I'm dragging you in a very nice manner.
Okay, so you guys go over to the back. The door's closed, and you knock on it. Tamily comes out and opens the door. She looks at you, and at first she's taken aback, but then she kind of readjusts herself. It seems like she's probably more used to seeing those of your kind. Yes, can I help you?
Greetings, fine maiden. Is Pumpernickel trying to say something? Yeah.
Continue on, Sneak.
Greetings, Miss Tamerville. Tanderville?
Tamley,
Um,
Tanderville.
Tanderville. Okay. We are here for wonderful adventures and stuff like that. We're trying to get a name for ourselves, and we hear that you might have a wonderful adventure possibly for us.
When you say that, her expression changes, and she says, "Oh, I didn't think anybody was gonna reply to that, but great, come in." And all of a sudden, her attitude changes from indifferent to friendly to you, just because nobody answered to this adventure, and she's that alone has made her friendly to you guys. So she welcomes you into the room, and as you walk into the room, there's a big round table set up in the room, and this guy is here in the back of the room, smoking his pipe. He says, please sit down. This is Otari, of the Pathfinder Society. Yes. The two of us together are sponsoring this adventure. We were just discussing what to do. Because nobody had applied to it for quite some time. But I'm so happy you're here. Please sit down. Akari just kind of nods at you. His attitude seems indifferent as well.
Yeah, so of course we would be interested because we're fine adventurers, very fine adventurers, as you can see, well put together and everything. However, the flyer that we found didn't have too many details on what was being asked. Just we seen that, we saw it, and it just said, "Come here, getting possibly rewarded some property," but when we were looking at it, we kept on hearing rumors of people saying you don't want to take that job. So we're hoping that you can give us some more details on it.
And she says, yes, I could understand why, and I don't blame them. She looks at Akari, and they kind of look at each other. And she says, Akari, why don't you explain? So Akari kind of clears his throat, takes a puff of his pipe, and his whiskers twitch. He says, well, you see, we had an incident here in this wonderful village of Otari. About 2 months ago, we had discovered that there were some caverns beneath this very fishery here. And there were some adventurers that really wanted to test their mettle and join the Pathfinders Society, and I gave them the opportunity by sending them down into the caverns to explore and help Tamily with a problem where there were some critters stealing her grain and her fish. Well, what had happened was that these adventurers, after delving deep into these caverns, had discovered that there was a clan of kobolds, very nefarious kobolds, that had apparently somehow acquired a wormling green dragon. Luckily, these adventurers were very capable, and they were able to drive this dragon out. But I'm not
capable, you say?
He says, it was a shock to me. We had unfortunately lost one of them in the process. But what the ability to take down a dragon is certainly very, very impressive. He says, but the job is not to kill this dragon. We want to do this properly. I do not want to put any more lives at risk. I do not want to send more adventurers out against this beast and possibly die in the process. He says, no. We are bearing the resource of the Pathfinder Society to bear. We are sending out high-level dragon hunters. He says, however, the situation in this town has grown very tense. This dragon was seen by all in the town, and people are very scared. The mayor, menace, absolutely wants nothing to do with any more adventurers trying to fight beasts. And he actually believes that it is our fault for sending these adventurers down in the first place. Otherwise, this dragon would not have burst out of the ground. He says, so because of this difficult situation and the tense politics in this town, I cannot directly invite Pathfinders into the town for the purpose of slaying this dragon. He says, and this is where Tamily has come up with an idea. And he kind of looks at Tamily. And Tamily kind of, she continues, says, well, you see, before I had this fishery here that you guys are in right now, in my younger days, I was a bit of an adventurer myself. I practiced rogue arts, and I used to have a different fishery down the road. It was right along the lake with the best fishing you can possibly find. It's just that I made so much money that I could relocate here and buy this prime property right next to the docks and also have my gambling establishment. So for the last 5 or 10, I don't know, maybe 10 years, that place has been abandoned. He says, but I still have the key right here. And she takes out a key from her pocket. And she says, now that fishery is technically outside of town grounds. So the mayor doesn't have the ability to say we can't build a base there for the Pathfinders. And from what Otari tells me, the Pathfinders really need a base to set up before it's to organize, so they can have a group ready to take on this beast. He says, so what I need is somebody to go over to that fishery and build it back up. That's it. And once the Pathfinders come here and use that place as a base and kill that dragon, well, that place is yours.
Build it back up.
It's in some disrepair, but luckily, I do have a lot of funds. The adventurers that originally drove the dragon away, well, they were kind enough to donate all of their gains from that adventure, and she kind of pulls out a treasure box, big treasure box, hauls it out and just onto the ground and just cracks it open, and you can see it's full of loot. This loot has already been added to your inventory, so it's not more loot. This is all the loot that you got in your inventories to begin. She says, you can see there's some magical items in there. There's gold. You can have all of this for the purpose of building this my old fishery up, and anything left over you can keep.
Well, you guys are just in wonderful luck. Not only are we wonderful adventurers, we are great carpenters and handymen.
Oh, so y'all must be masters in crafting.
Oh, of course we can definitely.
Go roll deception. I know you guys none of you are even trained in crafting.
Wait, trained in what?
Crafting.
I'm trained in crafting.
Oh, okay.
I'm +1.
I'm +4.
Not trained though.
Yeah, +4.
Okay.
Trained.
So somebody can craft at least.
+4. Dang.
So she said. So what do you say? It's a good deal. You don't have to kill the dragon. That's not your job. We just need that place. That unfortunately is a failure on deception. She kind of looks at you. She kind of looks at you, trying to lie to her. She says, "Well, okay. Well, you might not be the best at building houses, but listen, we live in a lumber town. There are 3 lumber companies here, all of which can easily repair that place. The problem is I don't have the best relationship with any of them right now because the whole town blames me for what happened with the dragon." He says, if you can convince the people of this town, and I know they're kind of looking at you and they're thinking, you guys are not the usual folk around here, and they might not be trusting you, but the people around here, if you can help them out and you can prove that you're not dangerous or anything like that, you can win them over real quick. And I'm sure you can win over one of the lumber companies to come and build it for you. They do charge a lot of money if you were to just ask for their services to rebuild the place. I do need to go over there, and they won't even work with me just because of my reputation here. But I do need you to at least go over there and check it out and make sure there's no monsters inhabiting it.
So by taking care of your old fishery, we'd be gaining some some reputation around this town. Is that what you're telling us?
Well, not by taking care of the fishery, but if you were to gain some reputation, that would help you repair the fishery.
How are we going to go about gaining some reputation?
Oh, sir, many ways.
Rez, having a fishery, you could have all the fish you want to eat.
The fish here are just mighty fine. We got the best sea bass this side of Absalom.
See, Rez, that should help you with your hunger. I know you love fish, or just about anything.
Rez, you're drooling, right?
Food.
Pumpernickel.
She says, I'm sure if you just talk to them, introduce yourselves, made friends with them, you can win them over. What were you going to say?
Yes,
Get a letter of introduction from you?
Unfortunately, that'll actually work against you because, as you know, we got a little bit of a problem where everybody in town kind of hates me right now. She kind of looks down. They blame her for that dragon bursting out of the ground, and now they're all scared of this dragon coming back and killing them.
So then you're saying our first steps ought to be to get a hold of some of these lumber folk?
Well, there's 3 lumber companies. There's the Inculse Lumber Company. There, you can talk to Clorte. He's one of your ancestry. In fact, he's been here for years and years. Everybody loves him. So you can talk to Clorte. Yeah, he's probably over at the Flumes right now. He works for the Inculse Lumber Company. There's another lumber company called the Quartos Consortium. And then there's a third lumber company owned by the mayor. I wouldn't recommend talking to him. He's not happy with the plans that we got.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to no politician either. I think we should go maybe talk to Clorte. Maybe it sounds like our best bet.
Yeah, so
What do you guys
you
think?
said that. So the flyer said that the reward would be property. So
Yeah, the lands and the fishery itself. Once we're done with killing this dragon, it's all yours. And if you can make friends in town, I'm sure the town will be happy to welcome you as an adventuring party set up on the edge of town.
So to clarify for you, Pumpernickel, we need to go to the fishery, fix it up, so that the Pathfinders Guild.
But before you do anything, I recommend you go and check the place out. See how badly it's broken down. I haven't been there in years, and probably some nasty critters have moved in by then, so you got to clear those critters out.
We can only hope.
And if you see a ghost called Blue Finley, just don't mind him. He's harmless.
A ghost, huh?
Yeah, she just kind of talks to you like in a dismissing fashion. Yeah, don't worry about him. He's no harm. He'll never hurt nobody.
is the property reward going to go to us or to the Pathfinders?
The property deed will be yours, but the Pathfinder do need to use it for the time that they need to hunt down and kill this dragon.
I think that sounds like a good deal.
And she actually takes out the deed right now, and she starts writing an addendum to the deed. And she says, "I'll write it right now upon contingent of repairing the premises, and fulfilling Pathfinder quest of slaying the dragon. Property will be transferred to whom should I transfer this to? Which one of you want to own this place?
The res.
Reckonar should be the name you use.
Reckonar. Yeah, you have a clan name, or just Reckonar?
Clan, we're not a part of a clan anymore, and we kind of got kicked out of it, so we don't really go by our clan name. We're not supposed to be able to use it.
Okay, Reckonar, the half orc. Okay, there you go. So it's official. And he gives it to you to sign as well.
All right, well, I'll mark it with an X. No, I can sign, I can write, so I'll sign Reckonar.
Rez can paw it.
Now, to confirm, you said Lou Finley is a good ghost we have to worry about?
She looks a little. she looks a little hesitant to talk about this ghost. You can try to diplomacy her.
Try to lie to me. I wanted to try to lie to me because they get the deception.
Well, she has to be lying to you for that to apply, right?
Yeah.
She's not currently lying to you, but she's hesitant to talk to you about it. Go ahead, roll a diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
18 is a success. Says, well, all right, so here's the deal. Ever since I owned that place, sometimes at night, and it's only at night, and it's only maybe once or twice a month, you hear somebody just kind of howling and crying and hollering, and it's in the back room, and she kind of describes which room it is with the layout of the so you guys will know when you get there. And she says, and you open the door and you see this young boy, clearly a spirit. He just sits there crying. He says, my grandmother's sword, and something like that. And then he just disappears. And that happens once in every couple of months. But he's never really hurt anybody. Actually, we get a whole bunch of ghost hunters coming and trying to res his spirit and stuff. And, that was a whole ordeal, but he doesn't seem harmful at all, and I don't think that should deter you from taking this property, because it's really prime property.
So he speaks common, huh?
He does. It's a human.
Well, maybe we could talk to him when we get there, guys.
Well, I tried to talk to him a couple of times, but every time I try, he just keeps hollering about his grandmother's sword.
Poor guy.
He looks like he's really, really sad, and he's always looks like he's dripping wet.
That don't deter us any, but
yeah, like I said, he's harmless. Never hurt nobody. Just gives people a scare when they're not awares.
we'll definitely keep that in mind. Is there anything else we should know? Is there anything? How far away is this?
Oh, not far at all. It's a half a day's walk, just down the road you came from.
Like through the forest?
Yeah, she gives you a map, and shows you exactly where it is. It's on the coastline.
On the coastline? Is there like any creatures that we should be aware that we may run into on the way there?
Well, no horrible monsters. I mean, there's always, your odd boars, some wild boars. If they get real pissed off, they can get a little rowdy. Well, sometimes if you're too close to the forest, giant spiders will come out. But you should know they're there, because you're gonna see them. You're gonna see those webs. You're gonna know those spiders will be there, and they shouldn't be too difficult to clear out. They're not very high level creatures. And Akari twitches whiskers. They are level -1 creatures. But Akari says, but there may be a bit of a complication. I'm going to try to put this lightly, put this delicately, judging by the company that is before me. Well, how do I say this? We've had orc raids. He kind of looks at the two of you. He says, I'm sure has nothing to do with you or any clan you've involved. They actually are a clan called the Stone Tooth Clan. They have refused to integrate into society and continue to raid caravans and attack. And recently, I personally was involved when a caravan was attacked by an orc raid just on the road from Absalom. They are hiding in the forest. I do not think that they should be coming to trouble you. They usually are very opportunistic and wish to raid places for gold. Now, they usually raid the caravans, but I would keep my eyes out for them. I do not know how friendly I do not know how friendly they would be to you, who have integrated into society, whereas they have refused to do so. But just to be aware. And then Tamla says, "Well, that's it. You guys, that's all that's all the information we can give you right now."
Well, fellas, what do you think?
I think we can take this task on.
Like, sounds
I
like
think it
fun.
doesn't sound as bad as what some people were claiming it was. So could just be who was offering up the quest that they didn't like. So I think we can still.
Well, it's mainly this dragon. Yeah, this dragon rumor has kind of gotten people a little spooked about this. But they clearly explained to you your job is not to kill this dragon. Your job is a lot more mundane.
So we just go to this place, fix it up, and tidy it up, and it's ours. Sounds like
Yep.
a deal.
Once you tidy it up, you let them know, and the Pathfinders will go there. They will set up base for however many days that they need to track and hunt this dragon.
We gotta go see what condition this thing is in before we go possibly go ask for help to fix it up.
Well, that's what she recommends, because she's like, well, you can't tell even if you go to Claudius now, you can't tell him what he needs to do unless you know the condition of the place.
I'm good.
Yep.
Well,
All right.
let's set out.
Let's go back to the map. Oh man, this 3D map is always disoriented. All right, here we go. Always disoriented. All right, so you guys see where I marked off camp, right?
Yeah.
It is to the west, the east of Otari.
The east of Otari. Yep, camp.
Yeah, that's where this fishery is. She hands you this map, and you see the things marked on the map. You see that the farmlands are marked. There's a lumber camp marked on the map. There's the mountains are marked on the map. The map itself is called the Otari Hinterlands. And you see, interestingly, to the northwest, there appears to be something marked. It's called the Gauntlet. And it's got the Eye of Sauron on it. You see, that's another thing. That's you see how it's moving? That isn't that magical? That's some fancy grounds. It's another update that probably broke a lot of stuff. Moving icons. It took me forever to put that. It took me forever to get that thing moving.
So you have Sauron.
Oh no, that's the Gauntlet. Unfortunately, that place is off limits per Mayor Menhez, because we have too many of these crazy treasure hunters and stuff following the legends.
No legends, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't heard about the legend of Otari?
Have I heard of the legend?
Remind
of
us.
Otari?
You can roll society.
All right. Society.
You haven't heard. It's a local legend.
No, I haven't heard. Tell us about this.
So Temley says, look, I don't want to tell you stuff and then you go and break the mayor's rules. He'll be real mad at me. But, I'll tell you this. There's some stories about Otari's founding in the past. There was a famous adventure by the name of Otari. This what this town is named after. And 500 years ago, rumor has it that he killed a horrible witch by the name of Belacora. She was a witch that used to eat children. So he and his adventuring party, the Rose Guard, killed this witch and their last stand was at that lighthouse in the Gauntlet. But since then, there have been hundreds of adventurers that have gone there. There's no more adventure to be had over there. There's no more loot, no more monsters, nothing over there. It's just empty ruin. But people, it still draws people looking for adventure going over there, and they cause trouble. They get injured, and since for the last 10 years, the mayor has made the Gauntlet off limits.
He's no fun.
You can't go there unless you buy abomination vaults. I'm sorry.
Is that a...
I was gonna say, why do they keep getting hurt going there?
Well, they do stupid things. They go over there, they get drunk, they smoke some halfling leaf, they try to walk up on the piers on the lighthouse, and the lighthouse is crumbling, and they fall through. They crack their heads. Stupid things like that. Ain't no monsters over there anymore.
Hey, Nickel, I know you're curious, but we got to get
No.
going.
Sounds like just a few. Doesn't sound like adventures to me. It sounds like a bunch of party animals wanting to go there and, like you said, get.
Well,
halfling.
They usually aren't real trained adventurers like yourself. They're just a bunch of kids who think they're adventurers and they want to go to the haunted house. They go over there and they get injured. That's usually what happens. The mayor has that place off limits. So if I were you, I'd just leave it alone. Or you can buy abomination vaults.
Alright.
Does anybody
I think we can go make our way to camp.
Yep.
Who
Well,
owns this Gauntlet piece?
It's town property. So the mayor decides what to do with it.
All right. Well,
Its history is
then-
lost, has been lost in time. I don't remember the whole legend. I believe if you go to the Temple of Seren Ray, Vandy can tell you the entire legend. She's really, really crazy about that stuff. For me, I think it's just stories.
Pumpernickel, when we get back in town, you make sure to go ask her about it. So let's go, guys.
All right. 'Cause we got our own place that we gotta fix up and make
Yep.
it.
And the gauntlet,
Make it party worthy.
if you guys go towards the gauntlet, you're going to hit an invisible wall, and it's going to pop up by the season pass for abomination belts.
Really?
I'm just making a joke.
Oh.
If you go there, maybe I will try to run abomination. I don't know what's going to happen. If you do, if you really choose, but you got a quest for you in front of you.
We got a quest, so let's go.
Okay, so you guys start heading out.
Hey,
You-
we'll be scouting while we're heading.
Oh, perfect. I was just going to ask, since you said you're scouting, now it's time for your roll, perception. You're ahead, I'm assuming, because you're using a scout.
Yeah. Give me a roll of perception, you said.
Yeah,
All right.
I believe you get a +2 because you're scouting ahead. I don't remember what the action is called.
It's called Scout.
Okay.
It actually don't say there is a roll. It just says that you get a +1 circumstance bonus when if you spot somebody in the battle.
So it's +1 circumstance to your perception
and then
roll.
everybody in the party will get a +1 circumstance if we get into battle.
Well, if you scout ahead, you're going to be ahead of the party, so you roll first, and then you're going to fight all the monsters by yourself. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I'm not going to be that far ahead.
Yeah.
He's like
Okay.
15, 20 feet ahead.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
If you fail this roll, I'll have everybody else roll.
Do you want this in the?
No. Doesn't have to be. No secret rolls unless I say it, because there's no need for it, and everybody's free to roll too. That's a success. That's a success. So you are able to scout out ahead. You clearly see there's a band of trolls. I'm sorry, band of orcs, and strangely, not only is there a band of orcs, but the band of orcs appears to be traveling with a troll.
Interesting.
They are ahead of you, so you don't see them, but it seems like they are also going the same direction on the road. That's why you just kind of caught up with them. They're not moving very quickly because there's a troll there. It's kind of weird because you guys are orcs, so I'll just tell you, orcs don't usually keep trolls as friends. Trolls are pretty voracious monsters, and they'll attack anything, including orcs.
Now she said they're the bad guys, correct?
Well, she said there are raiding orcs that are.
He did. You were told about these raiding orcs. You don't know if these are the raiding orcs.
Can I do a recall knowledge about trolls?
You certainly may. I will for the troll. I will accept. I'll accept Arcana. I'll accept Religion. I'll accept Society. And I'll accept if there's something else you can kind of argue for.
Okay, so got +4 in Arcana, so I might as well take an Arcana.
Because
+4.
because of the level of the troll, that's not a success. It's actually a crit fail. You can ask a question. I'll tell you false answer. Trolls are high level monsters. That you know.
Yeah, my question would be, generally, if there's a troll with a group of orcs, are they're out for evil purposes?
Well, you don't know for certain, but you know, you look at this.
With that roll, I know it.
You can recognize this troll, and I won't insult people's stupidity. Be like, oh, you don't know that the troll is regeneration and stuff. You know, this is such common knowledge. I don't want to even play that in the game. So you know that trolls are dangerous monsters. They're very probably maybe more than you guys can take on. There are a lot of orcs as well.
So I would kind of go back to the party, and I said, you know, there's a big group of orcs and a huge ugly troll, and I don't think we're quite ready for them yet. Maybe we should kind of just hold behind because they're walking in the opposite direction, and we come up behind them, so we might be able to go get by without even running into.
If you don't move, they're gonna just keep walking. If you guys don't catch up to them, they're not even gonna know you're there. So they don't seem to be hiding. They're just kind of walking down the street. They were walking down the road.
And they're walking away from Otari, so.
Yeah, but we might have to worry about them getting somewhere and setting up an ambush for us. So
that's true.
We might want to keep a slight eye on them if we can.
Well, I'll keep scouting when we decide to start going.
Well, you have a choice. Do you want to follow them, or do you want to just kind of let them go?
Follow.
Okay, if you follow, I'm going to ask for stealth. Because at some point, if you keep following them, you know, one of them's going to turn around.
Is it a group stealth, or are we all doing or single?
You can do something called follow the expert if he is an expert in stealth. We are learning more stuff. Are you an expert in stealth?
I'm not expert. I'm just trying.
Oh no, then you can't follow the expert.
I thought follow the expert was a feat, not an actual activity.
No, that is an action.
Yeah. It's a great opportunity to learn about that, but you're not an expert, so it doesn't apply. Sometimes a rogue can be an expert in stealth at level 2 because if you put the skill in stealth. So it's going to be risky if you guys try to follow these guys.
I think we just ought to wait until they go out of sight and then.
Too late. Rez rolled, and he was seen.
Huh.
So
from all the way back here.
Yeah, they saw you. They have very keen eyesight. So they see. You guys are mucking around too much. You don't. You were trying to follow them. They turn around and they notice you. And then one of the orcs comes out. This is the biggest orc out of all of them. Clearly the clan chief. He sees that there's two other orcs here, or one orc and half orc, And he kind of looks at you. He looks at you, kind of tilts his head to the side, and then he comes over to you guys. He's not coming over aggressively. It appears that you're an orc, he's an orc, and he's going to come over and talk to you. So this guy comes over, and he doesn't address the rest of you. He just addresses the two orcs. He bangs his chest, and he does an orc greeting, and he says to you in orc, "I'm Norbach, clan chief of the stone... what did I call him? The Stone Knives.
Don't.
You...
Stone Tooth.
Oh, Stone Tooth, sorry.
Stone Tooth.
You?" he asks.
I am Reknar, and this is my brother Kissiar. We're from far off, and we have a clan no longer. Our clan was destroyed, but we're traveling with these good folks here, just trying to make a living. We're heading for a fishing shack out in the woods here to try to maybe make our home there and work out from there. But we was just on our way out there when we ran into you guys.
Everybody roll a perception check. Okay, those of you who rolled above a 15, you all notice. You notice that on his armor there is some sort of where normally there would be a clan symbol. There appears to be a strange kind of symbol there. It looks like it's like an animal or something like that on his on his clan, and it's a marker of the clan that he belongs to. While he's talking to you, he says, "Well, you are another orc, so you are in welcome company among the clan of Stone Tooth." And he says, and those who you are with, you also are welcome among the company of Stone Tooth. That's actually kind of unusual because the orcs are usually pretty xenophobic with other races. But this guy seems very welcoming of all of you.
Oh, we are
He
so
says,
appreciative
it
of
is,
that, brother.
he says, "It is very tragic for me to hear that your clan was destroyed. Indeed, is it not a shame that we, the orcs, once proud and strong, now reduced to hiding, to being scavengers, no longer warbands, broken. Some of us work like slaves in the human cities." And you can see he's genuine. He's very kind of he's very honest about this. He looks like he's not happy with orcs that join society. He doesn't seem to know that you guys have kind of tried to join society yet.
Yeah. I just kind of bow my head and shake my head a little bit and says, "It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. That's for sure."
He says,
Grunt and pound my chest.
"If you are looking for strong clan, perhaps you can serve under me, Chief Norbach." He kind of looks at you, kind of eyeing you, seeing what your intentions are. And orc clans are very hierarchical. The chief is everything. So you guys know that.
That sounds kind of tempting, but we're kind of in the middle of something right now. Perhaps we could visit your village sometime. We plan on doing some traveling.
Yes, I would ask you, consider this. We orcs are strong, and we have planned to become even stronger. He says, we will never serve as slaves to these humans. We will destroy the humans, conquer their lands, and take what is rightfully ours again. He says, when the time comes and the powers align, he says, I will still welcome another orc.
Yes, well, we will definitely keep that in mind, and If we run into one another once again,
Sense motive, everybody. Everybody who doesn't speak orc, you get a -4. So pretty much sense motive only for the 2 orcs. Everybody else, you got to roll a -4 because he's speaking orc.
So you want everybody to roll a sense motive now?
Yeah, you're all there talking.
Okay.
Sense motive is
Perception.
perception. Okay.
Sense motive. It's under
Perception.
counter activities.
Yeah, but it's just a perception check.
Oh.
But -4, so 13 for Schneeg.
I clicked the button and it rolled it in the tower. I didn't do that.
Unfortunately,
did it.
Unfortunately, everybody fails. So you guys don't get any more kind of a sense of where this guy's coming at. But he gives you an open. He says, "If you change your mind," he says. He says, "You have map."
Yes.
So you hand him the map, and he puts a little marker on the map, off into the woods north of the farmlands. He says, "You go here. You find the bent tree, and you place knife inside bent tree. We find you."
Okay.
And he
serve as a token.
yeah, so he's telling you that's like a secret signal. You find that bent tree,
Okay.
you put a knife in it, and then they'll come to you as a secret signal if you want to find him and possibly join his clan.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Chief Norbach gives you a customary honorary orc greeting, and then he walks back, and you can see while he's doing this, you guys look at the troll. This troll is extraordinarily well behaved for a troll. This is very unusual because trolls are monsters and would probably attack orcs on sight. And this troll is just sitting there as if he's like, he looks like he might be even in a trance, as if there's something controlling it, or you can't tell from where you're standing. So the orc goes back to his band with the troll, and they move on.
So who's the magical people in our group? Pumpernickel and
You're not close enough to detect magic.
No, I was gonna say if someone could do a roll for knowledge about the troll, about the way it's acting and stuff like that. One of the more magical guys that would have a better.
I'll accept an Arcana or Religion at a high DC.
I'll roll Arcana.
Yeah. All right, I'll take that. That's a success. Exact DC.
Good go, Pumper.
This troll is not under the influence of magic and not being mind controlled. That you know. He's doing this out of his own volition, which is really strange. You have no idea what would compel a troll to cooperate with these orcs. So that.
Oh, no. I'm even more intrigued with these orcs. If they can get a troll to join them and do everything for them out of their own sheer will, no magical influence or anything like that. Now I'm even more intrigued.
Yeah, the orc is not like charmed or mind controlled or anything like that. All right, I think we have to. I think we have to end the session here.